Welcome back everyone to It's Not Easy Being Green Screen, and I thought it would be an opportunity, since I've recently given this a full review, that we'll look at what it looks like in green screen. So this is Pinball Dreams, of course, by BG Games for the Amstrad CPC. Fantastic, probably one of the most polished games you'll ever see on the CPC. And of course, it's at the moment of this recording, it's not even available to the public, but it will be hopefully soon as. But we're going to look at it and see what happens when you turn it to the green side of things. I mean, the colour is outstanding in this game. The use of colour is incredible. The use of shading and just brilliant stuff. Of course, split rasters and everything else. So it's going to be very, very disappointing to see all that colour disappear into the green ether. But we'll see what happens and see if the boards are still playable. For instance, Ignition here. Lots of shading in the background, you can see. So you've got lots of nice sort of gradient shading in the background and stuff like that. There's shading also on the hit spools in the middle. Some of the bonuses, the lights and stuff. Is this stuff going to show up in green? This is the thing you worry about. And it's probably going to get, a lot of this is going to get lost. A lot of that wording and effects is probably going to get lost, unfortunately, as well. But and I'm guessing it's going to be still extremely playable. But losing all that colour is certainly going to take a lot away from it, unfortunately. But let's see what happens in a minute. Just make you get used to the colour, all the lovely colour. I can't stop playing this game, to be honest, recently. It's fantastic stuff, it really is. I'm just blown away, still blown away by the scrolling and the physics of the ball on this. It's still incredible. I'm assuming the digital scoreboard at the top as well is going to get a little bit lost as well, because it's a nice little effect with the digital scoreboard at the top there. You'll probably see, obviously, the main score coming up, the yellow parts, but the dark parts probably not. So let's pause the game and turn it to green. What's going to happen? Green now. Right, okay, yeah, as expected, some of the detailing in the shading in the background and some of the words printed on the table are missing. They've disappeared. They're near enough disappeared. They haven't completely disappeared. You can just see them. You can just see some of the faint lights there blipping away. The explosion graphic of the rocket taking off looks really nice in green, that actually. It's lost a lot of the gradient on it, but it looks really nice in green. The ball looks particularly bright, yeah. You can still definitely play this to, not to its fullest, but you can still definitely play it extremely well. It kind of looks of a muchness, like it always does in green screen. Certainly the colour impressions have disappeared. We expected that. The scoreboard at the top, like I assumed would happen, you can barely see the sort of the LED non-switched off panels behind, which gives it that nice LED board effect. Is it LED or LCD board effect? I do apologise. The old LCD click numbers, isn't it? Yeah. Still looks good, and you can still follow the game fine. We're going to look at a couple of tables, I think. We're not going to just look at Ignition. We're going to look at a few of the others. I think Nightmare is going to be an interesting board to look at, because it's a very dark table. The design of it is very dark, with lots of blues and purples and blacks, and greys, should we say. So that's going to be an interesting one to look at, because obviously when you've got similar colours that turn to green, a lot of it just blurs into the same shade. So let's quit out of that. Also gives us a chance to look at the menu screen as well and see how that looks in green. See, Nightmare, like I suspected there, a lot of it is sort of very dark, the Nightmare selection there. Beatbox looks great, really bright. Beatbox still looks very balanced still on the options menu at least. And the high score table, that looks pretty good. Obviously the gold E in the Pinball Dreams title has disappeared. You can't even tell that's any different to the rest of the title. Here's Nightmare. The Nightmare table, the Graveyard table. It's one thing I didn't mention. Oh god, look at the Graveyard title in the middle. Barely see it. And you can barely see any of the sort of detailing at the bottom. I think that's the church and the cemetery detailing at the bottom. You can barely see that. That's disappeared. What a shame, because it's a really nice effect, that. Yeah, I had a suspicion that the Nightmare board would fare the worst in green because of its dark theme colour. Oh, let me shoot the ball properly. The surround of the table looks great though. It still looks great. Obviously the movement is completely unaffected by the greenness. I'm not doing very well though, I must admit. It's just the greenness has certainly affected my ability to play this game, even though I was just rubbish in the first place. Yeah, so a lot of the background detail on the table here is missing. Well, it's not missing, it's there, but it's barely visible, which is a damn shame. You can still see the lights and the colours, and well, not the colours, but the lights and the shades, the different shades between the lights, whether they're flashing or not. All a bit dull, but it's a shame that all that lovely graphical detail and the title graveyard in the middle is barely visible. Again, expected stuff. Still highly playable. I think we'll finalise on one of the other tables, not the beatbox. I think we've played the beatbox so many times on this channel, so I think we'll play the steel wheel. I think this one is going to fare quite better. It uses lots of light colours. I think beatbox would fare okay as well, but yeah, that's all pretty crystal clear still, isn't it? There's a little bit of detailing, I think, slightly on the left side there. There's some detailing there that's gone missing. I can't barely see what's going on there, but everything in the base is very, very clear. The train's clear. All the lights are very clear on the steel wheel because it's a very bright, nice. It's a bright, colourful table. The title is very, very obvious and garish. Maybe a bit too garish, actually. Just a slight clash with the ball. I mean, the ball does have a border around it. It does have a black surround about it, so it does stand out, of course. But some of the lighting on the steel wheel very bright in the green. So look at them lights there. The lights on the main body of the table there. Very bright indeed. Very bright. So yes, that is the excellent Pinball Dreams in green. Just so you know, just if you were curious about what it would be like in green, of course you can play this on your real Amstrad if you want. I recommend you do. It's fantastic. And of course I'll leave you with the amazing intro, of course, in green. Thanks for watching. No Bug out.